Hi everyone, welcome back to Sovereignty Podcast. My name is Shayra, and I wanted to do a more intimate, more personal video with you guys, so you guys can get to know me a little. For those who doesn't know, my name is Shayra. I go by Shay. I go by a lot of things. A lot of people have their own nickname for me. Growing up, I really pressed for anyone to have, or for me to have, a specific nickname to grow up with. Everyone just usually just came up with their own nickname based on that bond. So I usually tell people, you can call me Shay because my name gets butchered a lot. People like to add different letters in my name. So to keep it sweet and simple, Shay it is. But I'm also from Richmond, Virginia, the East End to be specific. And Richmond is a place that I like to call home, that definitely helped mold me to be the person that I am. And I have my family is from North Carolina. A lot of people try to, figure out where I'm from because I have this country accent. A lot of people say, hey, you sound like you're from some people tell me I sound like I'm from Philly, sound like I'm Southern, I sound like I'm from Baltimore. I sound like a lot of stuff, apparently, but the most agreeable one would be that I sound Southern, and I get that from my people, my family that I grow up with, and they are from North Carolina. Growing up, I feel like we all have our story of growing up in a tough environment, having to adjust and have to really come out of, dark places and things. And I have one of those stories like that. No, we're not going to get into one of those stories today. I may do like a interview episode and have someone interview me. So if that's an interest, I would definitely do that to get more in depth, because nowadays being vulnerable and really just not caring or seeking for validation, for me, I feel like is definitely a good hump to get over, because a lot of people are scared to, wear that on their sleeve. And I feel like my story may reach a different audience or reach people who can relate. So I would definitely do that on another episode. Starting this podcast has been a total roller coaster for me. Not because it's hard, but fighting your mental strengths. And me being in the mental health field with my career, and also being an advocate for a lot of people out in the community, and being an advocate for the people that I love who kind of seeks, reassurance, clarity, and things from me. I kind of wanted to base my podcast around mental health, for it can be an outlet for me in my own personal healing journey, but also reach someone who's going through the same things. I feel like we kind of beat ourselves up to be this type of perfect person. We all want certain things in our life, rather that's materialistic or just having a different mindset, a better mindset, a way where we can react better and think better and just be better, And I relate with that so much. And I feel like we all deserve to have that peace and happiness inside, as long as we are doing the work every day to work on ourselves. And that is the journey that I am on. And I feel like I've been on this journey for a very long time. But the thing about that is that healing is not linear, and healing is it's never done. It's never finished. And that's the beauty of it. I feel like we go through this healing journey and we're like, when is it done? When are we okay? And I feel like we have to remember that we are always okay within the process. And as long as we seek a higher God and we don't forget where we're going, where we're trying to go, and where we came from, the vision there to get there will always stay clear. And one thing that I am working on is being consistent. Being consistent I always have been a person that's very resilient, never giving up. No matter if I stop doing something so many times. If it's written for me, if I feel like it's something that I need to do and just fight with my mental health about, I'm going to start over. One thing about me is that I'm never afraid to start over. Now, there are some things that kind of come up in the mind where you feel, negative, where you may overthink some things, and be scared of the unknown, and we try to that that fear and fight that anxiety, because it ultimately stops us from being as great as we know that we can be. It stops us from becoming what we know that we can be, and it's so difficult navigating through that, and also making sure that you have the people that is surrounding you not only are pouring into your cup as much as you're pouring into them, but never, want to give up on you. Never want to make you feel, less than while you are coming through this storm that you are in. And that's what I'm also going through as well. I feel like I know I have my support system within my family and friends. And just weighing everything out of being intentional in what's for me and what's not for me, what helps me, what does not help me, is very, very important while you're healing. You can't afford to take these steps back. So many steps forward, years after years, healing and going through those mental battles. You don't want to take steps back, and you want to make sure that everyone around you is benefiting you in some way. It was this term that I heard was use me but not misuse me. And I felt I really resonated with that, because we all want someone or want people in our lives where we can benefit out of. I don't know why that's such a bad thing, because it's not. What can you do for me as much as I can do for you? Can you support me? And it does not have to be anything materialistic. It doesn't have to do anything with money, giving me something, none of that. But are you a good listening ear? Are you a shoulder that I can cry on? Can you support me? Do you uplift me? What is it that I gain out of interacting with you? Because I feel like we are all on God's timing, and we have to experience so much and have to experience so many individuals that it's like, what are we doing here? And family, friends, platonic, or what, I just feel like for me and the heart that I have and the unconditional love that I share, it's very important to make sure you are intentional with the people that's in your corner, because once you get up out that storm and you look back and see who was there for you, it's going to be refreshing to know that, okay, I'm out of this storm. Now, wow, I had these people pouring to me, I can fulfill their cup back times 10 and know that these people are with me, and that's a beautiful thing. And I also think going through this healing journey and getting reality checks and putting different things into perspective, it just makes me feel so grateful for the things that I do have. When you reflect and you look back at your life and you just look at all the things that you have made it through, it's like you can't tell me there's no God. You can't tell me that I haven't beaten the odds. You can't tell me that I haven't gotten so far. You can't tell me that there's no growth, And you just ultimately have to believe in yourself. Stay confident and don't let any opinions or just anything from external that's not from the source, that's not from you, anything that doesn't define you, don't let it define you. Don't let it define your worth, your value, and who you are as a person, because no one is perfect. And the best thing that you can do is definitely forgive yourself, forgive others, and just keep pushing forward and staying strong, It's a lot that's going on in the world, and a lot of things can feel heavy in your world or just in the outside world. And I just feel for people who gets up every day and work on themselves but feel like it's not enough, or feel like it's just another ending cycle. And it just all starts with you, And that is the journey that I am on. So a lot of my videos, well most all of them, will be in regards to mental health and just really spreading the word of awareness and really helping somebody who may resonate with it, who has been through it or going through it, that you're not alone, And what's for you is going to be for you. And just rock out, just keep going every day, regardless. When you feel hopeless, when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel that anxiety that you don't want to get out of the bed, get up, because you made it another day to restart over. Regardless if yesterday didn't go well, regardless of what argument you may have had, regardless of if you lost a job, if your car stopped working, you have another day to figure it out. You have another day to start over. You have another day to release that energy or release those emotions that you had, to keep pushing through. Don't forget to pray, and don't forget to just really count and bet on yourself. Things will get lighter, things will get easier, And sovereignty is all about having the authority over your mind and knowing that whatever negative thoughts that does come to mind is not yours. It's not of your higher power. And you shape your reality. You control your life, You control what comes in, what comes out, and how are you able to navigate through that. That is what it's, really all about. And also, to be honest with you guys, when I speak, I have a lot of things that I want to say at one time. So it also may, kind of sound all over the place. But stick with me. We have to start somewhere, people. We have to start. Starting this podcast, I used to think like, I'm not ready. Where is the confidence? Where is the, worried about what other people would think? I am a very private person. Very, very private. So it was like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to be vulnerable in front of all of these people. I'm ready to put them in my business. I'm ready to talk. Like, I wasn't good at talking in front of a class at all. But this right here is showing growth. This right here is showing confidence. This right here is not being scared and fearful of the unknown. This right here is not being fearful or scared of what people would think about me or somebody being in my business. Because I still wake up every day seeing that it's not stopping anything. Regardless of what someone thinks about you, regardless of just any external opinions, it only matters what you see for yourself. How do you feel about yourself? That is the only thing that matters. And so here I am. And I think this is about episode 6. Have I been consistent as I want to be? No. Still working on that. But have I been way better than I was when I started this 3 years ago? Yes, I am. And I am grateful for my growth. I am grateful for still sticking it through and being here. And I just love all the support that I have been getting support from my friends who has been on my podcast, photo shoots, and just, even in the background of people, pouring into me and letting me know that I can do it. I can push through this mental step that I'm in. And I love that for me. And I hope that, as it reaches people, I hope that this podcast gives a different perspective of mental health, give a different perspective of the world and what we are all going through. And I hope it also gives a different perspective and lens for me. And then just ultimately, wherever God wants to take this for me, that He takes it. I surrender everything to Him. But we also have to continue to do that work and working within ourselves. So you're definitely going to see more of me. You're definitely going to see more consistency. And you're definitely going to get to know me better and hopefully get some clarity and gain some wisdom and some knowledge as well in regards to mental health and, just sticking together. Love you guys. I thank you. See you soon.